Hello, welcome to the Health In Show, an affiliate program of Homeopathy World Community. You've come to the right place to tune in and participate with your comments and questions. Love is the greatest healer of all, but sometimes, in order to change our emotions, we must take action in other spheres of our lives. We speak with experts in alternative and complementary health fields and hope you will benefit in some small or great way. Remember, you are wherever your thoughts are. Make sure your thoughts are where you want to be.
Good day, everyone. This is Debbie Bruck, the founder of Homeopathy World Community, speaking with Abbas Gadimi from Ireland. And I am going to speak up because today is a fun day, lively, humor, joy, anything positive that you can think of. That's what we're going to bring into the universe, the universal energy today. And, you know, the fact that we can be together, this is amazing in today's world. And, you know, I'm looking at Abbas smiling right now, and I hope you're all smiling out there. And I see Amnon and everybody smiling. And join us. Put your name into that little chat box, and so we can see who's here with us today. Go out and get a friend. Bring them in, because he tells lots of jokes. And I can tell you it's got to be true, because I read this book, and he made me laugh. He made me smile, and we're going to get going right now. So everybody just say hello.
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 And we have Dr. Deepak Sharma of the Orbits Clinic, and congratulations on your new website, who is calling in from New Delhi, India. I'm so pleased that everybody can be together. And if you want to be on the line, you can call 919-518-9773 or via Skype at Computers2K Voice. We also have something that we've never done before, a book giveaway. And if you go down to the bottom of the page, scroll down on the, Nissan Communications website that you're on now. Scroll down, and there's a little white banner. It's kind of not very bright, but it says Abbas Giveaway, and that's going to be happening this week. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background here, and Abbas will tell us a little bit more of his story, his life story, but let's first find out that he started homeopathy, his studies, in 1989. He has tremendous amount of training and expertise. He's known as the health man by his community of, there are about 4.5 million people living in the Republic of Ireland. And I think there's around 86 homeopaths, something like that. So there's a lot to go around. We need more homeopaths. And if you're interested, this might stimulate you to learn a little bit more about homeopathy. He took 4 years of training in the Dublin School of Homeopathy, and then also a final year in the Galway School of Homeopathy, 2 years learning about chronic disease with Jeremy Sher. And when he did that, this is our world today due to not living healthy or environmental impacts, or I'm sure he's going to tell us, so I'll let him do that part. 2 years with Jeremy Sher, and then a year at the Maynooth College in Ireland. And he was telling me a little bit this morning about the kind of study that he did, the intensives from 2 to 4 each day, and examining 2 to 4 patients with chronic disease like multiple sclerosis or polio, maybe tuberculosis. I think that is coming back in this era. And finally, after 8 years of study, he had to go through a registration procedure, taking 6 cases and also having supervision during that time, and having even checking the office to make sure it was professional and all the needs are met, and probably forms, and also proper conduct. I mean, all that. We all go through that. And I think that's excellent. So you're speaking to a professional, and speak for me, or I don't want to speak for you, but if you're not getting good results in a case, that you can confer with many other physicians. So I'm ready to hear some laughter. So welcome.
Okay.
Where is your playfulness?
Oh,
He will find something to play.
Okay.
Okay.
You tell me
Welcome.
to start. Would I start?
You're here. Yes.
I'm here. Okay. That's great.
And you can interrupt me at any time.
Okay. So let me start with this one because it's a little bit American. And this doctor, we call him Dr. Murphy. And Dr. Murphy one day was walking on the street and he saw Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith is 93 years old, and he was walking alongside with this lovely young lady and laughing, ha, 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 ha. So Dr. Murphy was a little bit surprised and concerned. He said, this man is a very well mature age, and he has a heart condition. I wondered that how is he... anyhow, Dr. Murphy waited for a few weeks until the gentleman come back for his checkup, and he said to him, I believe you're doing very well. And you say, oh yeah, doctor, your as you Americans say, your last advice was awesome, because what you told me, it made me so happy. And he said, okay, what was my advice? He said, remember, I'm trying to do an American accent. I hope, forgive me if I'm... So he said, remember you told me, got yourself a hot mama and be cheerful. So the doctor looked at his note. He said, Mr. Smith, I told you, you got yourself a heart murmur. Be careful.
It's working.
The way the accent would say, be cheerful. And so the reason I'm saying this joke is that just in case it would be anything I would say, I hope it would be misunderstood, and because of the accent. So that's it. That was a good start. Okay. I have some notes here to actually
I love your American accent.
Hopefully it doesn't give you a lot of anxiety, no?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I just, my wife actually this morning warned me. She said, please don't talk half an hour for one question. Because you're telling me I have to interrupt you. I mean, I think you should interrupt me. Okay. What I'm going to start, actually, if it's okay with you, I wanted to tell you a little bit about actually my birth and my mother's birth, because it's very, very interesting. And also I mentioned them in the book. It's what had happened is actually when my mother was born, it was the same time my step-grandmother also had a child, but she was a very rich person, my step-grandmother. And what had happened is that her child died on birth. It was a stillbirth, and my mother's mother also died on birth. But my grandmother, because she was very wealthy and they had so many servants, etc., kind of like a British royal family at that time in Iran, and they used to be at that time, people would, they advise each other or bring children. If somebody's breast milk is so much, they pass around. And her breast was so sore because she had milk, but she had no baby to feed it. And so some of them, they told her that some, servant, they say, what about so-and-so, and her mother died and the child doesn't have milk to drink. And so they brought the child and she latched in. And as soon as she had my mother on her breast, she fell in love with her. So she actually looked after her, and then they become really, so she grew up, etc., etc. Then it turned to be my lifetime, and her first husband's name was Abbas. and who died during the war. So what she did is that actually she put my name on. I was born in the Persian day. It is 28th of August. 28th of Mordad. This is a revolutionary day, which was half a day. The government were, in the street, they riot in the street, and they were saying death to Shah. In the 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, it was a coup. Then it became, just keep talking here. Can you hear me, Debbie?
We're listening intently. So you're saying in Persia, the 28th day of which month?
That was in Persian days, Mordad, Morad, which is not equal to 19th of August.
Oh, 19th of August. Okay.
Yeah, we can say it like this.
Okay.
But the point about it is that when I was born, it was about 6 o'clock in the morning or something like this. And my father was a policeman, and he thought I'm a bad luck for the country. And he was going actually to throw me to the river. And so my grandma, which the history we know before, she took me away and brought me to not any close family, etc., to will be find out. And so what she did is she brought me somewhere, and they were always talking about that. Apparently, I was about 17 or 18 hours somewhere. I didn't even cry, and I didn't even have the milk or anything. And so eventually, the midnight, everything settled in the in the country, and because it is actually in the history of the country, is a very strange day, because half a day was big, huge riot. It was, everybody was saying death to Shah, and then the other afternoon, the government came into power, and it was a military coup, so they settled the condition. So that is my day of birth. Can you imagine? I already created a revolution.
You did. You were really a powerful force into the world.
Oh, well,
Yes.
please God.
Basically, it was a sign of a star born.
A star being born. A star being born.
Yes.
And you know what? This is again, we were talking earlier about the forces in the world, the forces of good, the forces of evil, because we see so much negativity. And you were telling your point of view about this. And it's exactly what I said, giving birth and how difficult and painful. And then the dark and the light forces. Can you say it in your own words? Because I could not do that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you see, when you look at the dark and lightness, you see, darkness doesn't exist. It's actually only absence of light. But light is existence. So in order to understand that, we can actually give the example of two rooms. Visualize two rooms. One room is bright and one room is dark. So when you open the door, light go to the dark. Mm-hmm. So as a result of it, light is existent and darkness is a lack of it. So what we have to learn about it is that in order to see all of the things happening in our society, you were earlier on telling me something happening in your society.
The knockout. Yeah.
In America, yes. And in America, in the United States, certain thing happening is no far away in Ireland or everywhere else. But what had happened is that, you see, because light is shining so much, and as a result of it, darkness is trying to actually grab to some sort and bring the light down.
The darkness is trying to bring the light down?
It's so trying to actually to dissipate them, if you like.
To diminish the light.
Diminish light. Mm-hmm. But light doesn't get diminished. Light is a life. And as a result of it, it is very, all we have to do is continue to doing what we are doing. For example, you're doing a wonderful thing with your program. You're putting a lot of attention and knowledge to, and I can see the quality interview you have here. Some of them, they're phenomenal. And some of them actually, I personally know them. And Mary Aspinwall, I was listening to her the other day, and she's a very good friend of mine. And then we have Amy, and et cetera, et cetera. So you see, we do the more good work, and the light would go more and more and hopefully can actually reduce the darkness.
We need to do that. And as a matter of fact, you're speaking right now about the energy on the planet at this time of the year, which for me it's Hanukkah, which is also for the first time on the day of Thanksgiving, and it won't return until 70,000 years from now. So,
Wow.
no, 70,000 years, it will not return again, the planetary alignment in such a way that it would be Thanksgiving and Hanukkah. And the Hanukkah is like a miracle, and what we say, it's lighting a candle in the darkness. It's the festival of lights.
Yeah, festival of lights.
It's the festival of lights, and all around the world, in all these countries and all these cultures, they have a festival of lights. So this universal principle or understanding concept that the light is going to shine through us as we do our good deeds and our good work in the world. And
exactly.
I would love any kind of hints of, I know we're getting away from health, but how do we stay healthy? But I mean, I'm you know, we're not supposed to be afraid. We're not supposed to, when there's a challenge. And I'm hearing so much about fear running us. One thing, can I talk without, you can interrupt me, but I'm kind of saying this.
I'm going to interrupt you because
Good.
I may lose my train of thought.
Good, you
what
do
would
this.
happen is that, you see, English is not my mother language.
Okay.
So I need actually symbol in my head. You know, when I talk about, when people say unconscious behavior, I don't know what that means. But when we say dog and bicycle, so I have a picture in my head.
Yeah.
So what I do is that what I did is that for health, I make a picture for people's mind eye. You know, when we're talking about light, it's a symbol. But when we're talking about candle, is an image. So we can actually see it. You see, turn on the candle. And then we can say, turn on the candle in your heart. So that means you're putting light in your heart. And etc., etc. I mean, even when you look at the candle, you turn on the candle and you can see actually around the candle, the closest part is the darkest part. And then the candle shine in its surrounding. So you see, always because light is, overtaking the whole its area. That is why for about 12 years when I was practicing, I realized that I'm constantly trying to remove darkness instead of putting light, which is health. You see, disease is a darkness. Actually, in fact, there was they did it in I think University of one of the American university did the research on to see that why is a person is diseased, that their cell actually, if you look at it, the cells is damaged. So in other words, there is darkness. If you look at cancer cell, it's darkness. So
that's true.
Is it? Okay. Then what we did is I just stopped. I said, I'm not curing arthritis. I'm not curing eczema. I'm going to teach people how to become healthy. So I went to hibernate and I wrote this book and I put 4 principles. And as you can see it from the start of the name of the book is, excuse me, is this your body? It's a kind of exclamation and question rather than we see our body objectively. I'm sure that you notice a lot of time people coming in I know people coming to me, they say, doctor told me the kidney is blah, blah. I mean, hello, you're actually inside of the kidney. Sorry, your kidney is inside of you. You are the person.
Right.
So wanted to bring that to the attention. And then, the if you like, the image of the book, if you, thank you. And
how did you do that?
okay, look at this. Can you see the top?
Yes. The top, the head?
Yes.
Okay.
Top of the head is, the gold bar on the head. Sorry, I just close this because I'm rehearing myself. Okay. Now, you see the gold bar is on the top. See, have you ever heard people say, that person has a mind of a gold?
No, I hear a heart of gold.
Okay. So you see,
I
that
guess
is
in Ireland they have a different saying.
obviously, yeah, heart of gold. Yes, that is also okay. What we see is that you see mine. You know, mine. I remember the time when they used to go searching for gold, and you know, gold mine. When we're going to find it, it's not in a gold bar. It is like dust and dirt and everything, and then there is a tiny piece of gold, which looks like
Right.
muck and gold. So we just find them. In our mind is the same thing. We have about approximately 60,000 thoughts every day go through our mind. But when you have to find it, the gold of it, the golden nugget of it, you have to, extract it. So I put them that symbol. And then you have here on your lung, you have breathing. So breathing is like, you're lodging money to your saving account.
It's oxygen. Can I interrupt you? Today in the world we have bitcoins. And I'm sending little notes, I'm writing little bitcoins picture. And this is the gelt. This is the Hanukkah money. It's fake. It's what is it called? Virtual money. Yeah, it's not even tangible. It's not even solid. It's not even real. Like you're talking these gold bars. This is a valid form of economic exchange. But do you think it's okay to have virtual money?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure it is. I mean, money. What is that? Okay, tell me. I tell you a different way. I went through war, I went through revolution, and I went through refugee camp. So it was a time that we realized that it doesn't matter. You can have 10,000 euro in your pocket, but if you can't buy 6 eggs because it was a revolution, because it was war, there was no eggs, no chicken or no bread. So at that time, I realized that actually, who is the chief Native American said, when we catch the last fish, we catch the last bird, we realize that we cannot eat money. And I will go along with that. But can I carry on with
carry on,
image?
Please. You're talking about those green
then
papers.
We have this money. Can you see this money in the lung?
Yeah.
So when we breathe in proper oxygen, then as a result of it, we are actually saving money. But when and then we have to actually exhale carbon dioxide. But when we do opposite, which we smoke, then we are going to put carbon dioxide in. That means is we are actually taking money out of our bank account. And when we take more money than we lodge, what would happen is we would have bankruptcy. And actually, in fact, in the lung, they say similar terminology they use. They say this person had, chronic asthma, emphysema, and her lung collapsed. In the business, they say, because there is no enough money, your business collapsed.
The financial collapse. That's
financial collapse. Yeah. Then you go further down, you see change.
Can I note that your money is color green? Green is right. It's went from gold, it went to green. Green for plants breathing and bringing in that oxygen. So I like the green. And I think the green also is around the heart, is it not?
That's true. Yeah. Well, the heart is a treasury chest, which I come back to in a second. I just go to the change. Change is a small money usually in our pocket. It has to be moving. So also change is our fecal matter during the day. It has to be changed. So it's it is a children book for adults. And then you have a diamond in the liver, which is a symbol of, gallstone. To me, gallstone is a concentrated energy. A diamond is like a case full of money, but it's a small piece. So I call a gallstone 200 dinner. So it is 200 big fat meal it make a gallstone. Then you go to the treasury chest, and here is you have everything. And as you know, heart is in the chest cavity, which is if you like, the treasury of the body. See, treasury of the countries, we know the treasury in different country is different thing. Like in Japan is precision, in Germany is good engineering, etc., etc., and India is the labor. So treasury of our body is our heart. So then I have some story in the end. I said in there is that actually, in fact, if you look at it, that's why I love the terminology you used them earlier. You say heart of gold. In fact, we are actually in our heart rather than but symbolically our heart is actually in us. So I don't know, am I making any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, keep going. I see the entire treasury is right there into the heart. All of the
Okay,
different
that's
symbols
right.
that you have, you've put into the chest.
Great. Yeah, I did all of those. So then I just like to move on a little bit to second step, unless you have a question to ask me.
Keep going.
Okay, so I just ask myself, when did I become interested, become a physician? That when I was a little boy, this doctor, my granny actually get stroke, and she was for many days wouldn't eat, etc., etc. And this doctor come in, and he went through everything, but he did so many days analyzing our life and circumstances, and eventually he prescribed something very strange. He prescribed to purchase a fan. I mean, we were poor people, poor area, to buy a fan to actually constantly in that heat to constantly and give a fan to in her surrounding, and then give her 1 melon a day, and then clean up all those seeds and heat them up, ground it, and with water mix it, and give her a drink of that. Gradually she started eating and start talking, and it became so. That was amazing for me as a little kid. At that time, I decided, I said, I want to be a greatest physician in my life. And so
You want to be the best.
I want to be best. But what had happened is this gentleman, his name is Dr. Farhangi. He's actually, he was known in our town as a one prescription doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That would attract me so much. Well, not at that time. I'm only a kid of 6 years old. What would I know? And eventually, the things, life was life, and everything got lost in the circumstances. And eventually, I bump into the homeopathy. And when I get to homeopathy, I just actually realized that I'm home, because the things in homeopathy was making so much sense. So here is that I just noticed that I'm babbling a lot. So I'm going to tell you a little story here. That it was once upon a time, there was this woodcutter. And every day he goes to forest, he cut wood, come in and sell it to the local bakers, get some food with it, and go home. And one day, actually, he found this big jewel, this emerald big stone. And then he said, wow, look at this. This is so beautiful. I can bring it home. If I need to put a nail to the wall, I can use that stone. So in a way, this story is actually a story of homeopathy. That the amount of knowledge, the way we use homeopathy is actually that much. Because, I mean, when you look at it at this moment, you look at the word, unfortunately, medical science and medical establishment is commercial. So the knowledge we get from them, we can't actually adequately evaluate that is it really correct, because they have a commercial interest. Because when you think about it, when you look at the when you look at the amount of money can be spent for homeopathy treating people, it would be same price cost of a doorknob to the hospital. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Can I rephrase?
Sure.
Okay, so you're saying that there's so much information available out there, and we only know a very tiny fraction of it to begin with, and that pharmaceutical industry or the medical industry who have a particular agenda to make it a commercial enterprise are going to feed to the people even a smaller percentage of information as opposed to everything because they're not going to profit. Is this
Similar.
Similar.
Similar. But what
Rephrase
I'm
it
saying
again.
is that no, similar. But the point is that you see the value of I find in homeopathy or focusing on her health is much more less costly, much more effective, and we go back to the light and darkness. Because if we focus all the time about disease, we are not getting anywhere. But we focus on the health. I recently noticed that this physician came from Canada. It was doing a speech here in Ireland about that how to make people healthy. And he was talking about, he said 50%, 60% of the majority of the diseases are avoidable by very simple, if you healthy steps. So you want to ask me any question or I carry on?
Yeah. Well, I want people to know what's in your book. And you have 4 golden, maybe comes from the gold bars, golden principles of good health and well-being. So you have 4 things, and that's kind of sounds like what this gentleman from, or I don't know if he's a physician coming to Canada to speak, maybe was talking about these kinds of things.
Exactly, yeah. The one he was talking about still was kind of half away because he was talking about disease removal. So, for example, he was saying, you stop smoking and you do exercise, etc., etc. But if you look at my first golden principle is that be grateful. Be grateful is slightly different.
I don't know if you can see anything. Nope.
Thank you.
Nope. Doesn't work. Sorry.
Okay.
Just say we will be grateful. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, be grateful is slightly different than positive mental attitude. I know positive mental attitude is great, but be grateful is that actually your mind doesn't have argument with it. See, positive mental attitude is that you have to make an effort to work on it. Here is an example. As you notice that I love to do the example. For example, you're waiting in a bus stop and it's raining and you say, God, you can make so many things in your mind. You can say, I hope I won't get an accident when I'm driving or when the bus is going or that kind of thing. Or you can say, no, I'm going to be safely arrived to my destination. So that's a positive, negative thinking. But gratefulness is we say, thank God we have a bus here. Because I remember when I was in the army in middle of desert, we had to walk a certain area for 6 days. And I know in Pakistan we had to walk a lot. And so having a bus was a great thing to have. So see, gratefulness is that you affirm what is actually in your life. And for example, you and I can actually see each other and can hear. But a lot of people cannot see. So, gratefulness is not a major, here, I'm just, sorry, I'm, as you notice that I'm actually interrupting myself.
Well, you know what? This is the season of Thanksgiving. So you're perfect. You're right on. Gratitude and looking at the things in your life that you are thankful for and all the people who you meet. I call them my angels, my messengers from heaven, the people who are sending me information of the direction, the path I should take and the mission I should fulfill. And you look at the bright side, all your 2 rooms, your dark and your light room, you're always into that light room.
Thank you. Yeah. But the point is that, the grace, the light actually enter to the. So another word that's we should not pay so much attention to the negative energy, and instead, for example, whatever thing is happening, I often people ask me, what do I do in this circumstance? My child is this, that, the other. What do I do? I say, just pray for them. And like my children, I'm blessed with 2 beautiful children. I'm going to just put their photograph here if it can be seen. Is it? Can you see it? Is it shining or reflecting?
It's okay. I see it.
Yeah, I'm blessed with two beautiful girls, and of course they were teenagers, like they were like everybody else. And so what I did is that I made an agreement with myself. I said, if the night they ask me, I mean, sometimes they ask me that, can you collect me? I'm going to go to the party. And what time would I collect you? I don't know. I could be fed up at 10 o'clock, or I can stay and enjoy it until 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. So I decided to myself, I said, for if I don't collect them, something happened, their drunk friend would drive them and they will have accident, and then I would never forgive myself. So for that reason, I'm always there for them. So it would get rid of my negative energy in my head. So I won't be constantly, if you like, to be in a conflict with them. And so a lot of people, I notice that they deal with teenager, and they have that kind of challenge.
The challenge of
coping with their teenagers.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it is ours, and sometimes it is society's.
Okay, so can I ask a question here? I agree wholeheartedly that we have to be thankful, and we have to look at the light and the bright side, and the glass is half full, not empty. And all of this, I am bringing into my mind always my thankfulness to turn on the water in the sink, or to whatever I have to eat, or my friends. But at the same time that I am focused living in the light, I am shining that light into the place where it is dark and evil, because I want to say to the world, this is not good happening. I mean, people tell me, Debbie, just don't pay attention, don't look at it, it's nothing, it's just part of the world. But I want to say to people, we have to stop, we have to prevent, we have to improve. And, because there are people who are suffering. So what do you say to this?
I give you an example. That is the symbolic. Just visualize sun shining during the day. There's certain part of the wall or a corner or something. Sun, no matter how much sun is shining, that corner cannot get sun into it. Mm-hmm. So if we try to be or hold a mirror and get the sunlight to that dark spot, then we can get let's say you have a little plant in a corner of somewhere, but sunshine doesn't get through the bushes around it or whatever it is. But you see, if you hold a little mirror, and you can reflect the sunlight to that spot. So what we have to do in our daily life to actually be that mirror, that to reflect the the light of goodness, and the light of betterment, and the light of all good sources to back to our surrounding.
We have to be quite inventive. You're talking about the moon's energy. The moon that's reflecting the light and still hitting the earth.
Yeah.
And so in this way, we have to be quite creative in order to hit that little plant into the corner that is missing the light that it needs in order to grow and be thriving. I'm looking for ways in which to do this kind of thing for people who are desperate souls, who are doing such horrible things that really, you say don't let it affect you, but it somehow I don't know how to not let it affect me when I read deeds that are, not good for other people, hurting other people.
Yes, I'm kind of almost in total agreement with you. You see, I'm not suggesting that we should just be actually close-minded. So, for example, anybody walking into the wet day, we are going to get wet. I mean, that is the reality of life. But on the other hand, we can put on a better coat, better protection. Symbolically, we can actually put on so much love and light in us. But that people who are actually victimize others, they are more victim than the people who they victimize, because their soul actually at night, or their dream, or their life, they are more suffering than those who they persecute, or they affect them. And but however, you see, there is two things here we have to remember, Debbie, that these are opinion, and opinion is something that very hard to actually argue. And for example, we can say this journey of 200 kilometers is a short journey. Australian people think 200 kilometers is a short journey, but city people think 200 kilometers is too long journey. Both of them is opinion. So we have to realize that I noticed in my whole entire life, based on, I looked them as exactly the same way you call them. You use a phrase which was lovely, that you say, I call them my angels. In our angel, what had happened in our sorry, I'm been distracted here. I noticed that all the things I went through in my life, is in revolution, in war, in refugee camp, I took them as a blessing, if you like, because it taught me so much that I couldn't learn it in any school, in any college, or anything. So from that point of view, that life learning, that particularly through challenging, we actually grow better. For example, I mean, if we are
you're talking about, from your perspective, how you handle these challenges in life, struggles in life. And I'm asking the perspective, you did explain about the little plant in the corner. I mean, it's really 2 points of view, right? It's, the way that you cope and deal with struggle, and way another person deals and copes with hardships, and whether their response is, you said they're in a worse position because their soul, their spirit is in a very worse position. But we're living here on this planet in the material world, and this is what we need to repair and fix, and this is what we need to make better, so that people are not in pain and are not, everybody should have that joy, happiness, humor that you have, to bring more light. And I would love to hear another joke too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is slightly, there was one day, one lady walked into my shop, and well, you want to hear a joke? Okay, here it is. I was having a lunch. My wife come in. She said, this is funny. I said, what is funny? She said, this gentleman walked in, and he said, is this health food shop? No, sorry. Is this a pharmacy? My wife said, no, this is a health shop. Oh, he said, okay. And he said, what were you looking for? He said, I'm looking for somewhere to cut my hair. So neither pharmacy or health food can help. But
I don't think he speaks English very well.
Pardon?
I said, I don't think he speaks the language very well.
Maybe. I just like to a couple of points, because I can see we are kind of running out of time, or fast. It is my character. He's always a speaker, run out of time.
Okay, you will be back again for sure. There's no question in my mind.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I just like to tell you something which would be beautiful here, actually, to associate with this. When I was asked with this government in this country, they sent me to do some work in Africa, because I have this expertise of solar drying system. But what I did is that when I went to Africa, I actually made everything from the ground with the people in there. But on the side project, I actually went interview a couple of healers, and to see how they heal people. And one part we went in, we had to have interpreter, because the person wouldn't speak English, etc. And I was mesmerized with this level of gentleness that this healer was applying. Remember, you had a link recently in the your Facebook. I can't remember the day. It was in 98 or 101 or something. That's about listening.
Oh,
and
yes.
the amazing thing was that, you see, listening is not our mouth if you like, our mouth is closed, is not listening. Listening is, I learned from that gentleman, and he was so soft, and so I use the phrase, he actually wait until silent finish.
Mm-hmm.
So until the patient dry up of talking. And then the patient has to actually ask him. He said, do you want me to tell you anything else? Because he would be that much listening. And then eventually, the medicine he gave and the technique he used. And the other thing really affected me so much. He was this brilliant healer, and he had a really small place, and I can't describe it to you that how much that person, it affected me. As I'm talking to you, I can actually see his face in front of my eye, in spite of that is something like 13 years ago that I was in Africa. I learned from him. So these are kind of, how would I say, life learning or life forces. It's very hard to put them in a word and to put them in a book or to put them in a philosophy, but rather than live it. I hope I'm making sense to you. So, being healthy or being a homeopath, for example, is not about choosing correct pill. It is about overall our being with our patient. I mean, I know Rajan Sankaran has a beautiful line. He said 50% of the cure is that how you take the case.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, definitely.
so or
Dr. Sharma.
yeah.
Dr. Sharma, did you want to say something?
Yes, definitely you are saying true, Abbas. But
Yes.
we are want to listening that how you handle a irritable person. If a very irritable person is meeting with you, then how you spread your positiveness into this person. That is our motto for our show.
Sure. I use this method. I call them number 8. Number 8 is, if you look at all the numbers between 1 to 10, 1 to 9, number 8 is the only one number doesn't stop. So, 1, 2, all of them stop. So in other words, you just recognize the person's energy, you flow with it. For example, I noticed that people who are nurse or they are doctors or they have knowledge of medical science, that they have very little kind of respect in there. But after a while, when you recognize it and you acknowledge it, and then it becomes just gently dissipate, then you begin to work. But that is not a. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying any standard things here. It is we have to realize that if a person is irritable, it has got nothing to do with me. It is the person. Paul Herskure, Amy's husband, which you interview, he was doing a couple of years ago, he did a seminar, and somebody, he was asking what kind of problem you have. One lady said that my problem is man doesn't respect a homeopathic woman. And he said, what is the problem? She said, they don't respect me. She said, well, he said, you just look at it, this is their symptoms, rather than, you be offended. Because when you put on a wall and then it become resistant, I'm not sure, am I making sense to you? I thought it was a very good line he used.
Yes.
Yes. And the reason behind the statement that a patient is 50% cured when you taking a whole case, the reason behind it that a homeopathic physician is listen about the totality of the person.
Yes.
So he's listening everything, and the patient is much satisfied with the thoughts that the doctor is listening with my thoughts. That is the reason behind it. But when we are taking a case, we are also thinking about the negative and positive energy, and our medicines, the homeopathic medicines, is always give a positive energy.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
that's true. I mean, I just give you an example. I'm sure that majority of the homeopaths in the world, they have experience that the minute you ask a couple of questions, people start crying. And I was asking, after a few minutes, I was one seminar, I was asking homeopaths that how many of you actually remember the day you and your patient laughed so much? During case taking, I had a guy come in to me for depression. The reason he come to me because his doctor told me, are you suicidal? And he got a fright. And when he came here, we had talk and laugh so much that my wife actually come from up downstairs and said, would you please, what are you guys doing? Because I was teaching him that how you can actually spin the earth. You stay your back to the east, and your face to the your face to the east and your back to the west, and go with your little kid and you just spin it. And then I was saying something else to him. I said, okay, you suffer from depression, you are unemployed, you have so much loan, and you're losing your house, etc., etc. So, okay, 24 hours, just decide 2 hours you be depressed. So what is the free 2 hours you have? So he started laughing. I said, okay, from 2 to 4, you tell your mind that I only am allowed to be depressed this time because the rest of it I have to wash, I have to go to the loo, buy milk, make love to my wife, and sleep. So, you have to do all of those things. So tell your mind, I give you only 2 hours I have for depression. I mean, he was laughing so much. In the end of the day, I told my fee. He actually paid me twice. I said, you're broke. He said, this is the best €100 I spent in my life. But we laughed so much. But the point is that I wasn't planning before, So the point Dr. Shomra, I wanted to reiterate is that you flow with what's being presented to you. If I have a very serious patient, I don't joke with them because they feel they've been laughed at. So then what I do is that, I go with their flow until eventually I can actually shift their energy. My best sentence is about remember number 8. Because the 8, can you see it flow? So you can see actually what level they are at, you flow with them. And I hope I'm making sense.
In numerology, 8 is above the 7 levels, the 7 notes, the 7 planets, everything is in 7 in the material world. And number 8 is above it, the spirit world. So
Wow.
You know this in the numerology. And
I do. I'm familiar with numerology, but I didn't know that.
yes. So you're talking about bringing the spirit into the body. You're talking about
7th chakra. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this is good. So we have to keep the number 8, and I'm putting my number 8 to sleep. It's on its side, so it's the infinity symbol.
Okay.
I want folks to know that there is a book giveaway, and in order to participate and enter into the drawing, there is a little banner below the screen. It's also, the banner is on Homeopathy World Community, and if you click the banner that says Abbas book giveaway, excuse me, is this your body? And you know what? You will read more of his experience, his life stories, his jolly humor, and you're going to tune in with it. You're going to recognize yourself and the things that you think and do and say and your interactions with other people in your life. You're going to read all about it right here because in essence, we are all human and we're all the same at our core, in our soul level, right? Yeah. And so he brings it to life here with so many life stories and in a fun-loving way. So
that's great. Do I have any time to say a few words?
Go ahead.
Okay. I just like to say my future plan that so hopefully when I come back again to this program, that we can talk more. I'm planning actually someday I build a wellness home. There would be a home place that people would come just to become healthy and well. Because if you look at it at this moment, our health care, so they call, is actually disease care. They only can take care of us if we are in disease. We have a problem, they can look after it. But they don't know how to make us healthy. They can only remove the disease. So that would be actually my future plan that I would love to do. And so I thought maybe that would be relevant. And quickly I mentioned about the other point is actually drinking water is very important. And then eat less, move more, and nutrition. But just going one more back, I just lost my train of thought. You see, the symbolic I put for the money and gold, etc., in the book is the point of it is that you see, I made a material meaning. You know, when we talk about our kidney, we treat them like it has no value. When we talk treating our lung, it's like had no value. But when we see it in a material sense, you know, I mean, if I ask you how much you sell your kidney, would you give me your kidney for 10 million? Would you give me love of your child? I can't give love of my children for 10 million. This is a non-tangible wealth that it is around us. But that is why I purposely put them commodity that we actually can envisage that how this is relevant to our life. Love is the answer. That is true, Debbie. You're just amazing.
I'm just listening to you.
Okay.
I'm just listening.
I love your start. You know, you say spread the love everywhere. And look, we just got to know each other. I'm feeling that I know you for all my life.
Well, you're such a dear person, and you're going to have to be back because we are at the end of today's show, at the end of a quick hour. We didn't talk even a little drop about what we were intending to talk about because I'm telling you, guys, there's some good stuff in here. 3 people will get one. Abbas, you'll send it whatever country they are in.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
that's what they say in the conference. They usually say, invite Abbas. They say, what does he do? Or I don't know. He's full of energy and he has a lovely skin. That's what people say about Abbas.
You have lovely skin, Abbas, and also you're full of energy. We have what he has provided here are, like I would say, affirmations, aphorisms, wisdom, bits of wisdom. The driving force, you can open any page and open one. The driving force of illness is fear. The driving force of health is faith. And I'll tell you what, you could have a whole show about any page in this book. And so we will see you and speak with you again. I want to thank Dr. Deepak Sharma, the Orbits Clinic in New Delhi, for being with us. All the way from the other side of the world, and in Ireland, Abbas Gadimi, and maybe we'll do some more stuff together on the Blog Talk Radio. So what's coming up next? Next on the Health In Show, which is, let's see, November. Do you have the calendar in front of you? The next show is going to be December 2. We don't have anything between then because we're wishing everybody, we're into December because Thanksgiving is going to be right here in a couple of days. Light Some Lights, the Festival of Lights.
Next week, which is the 2nd?
Yes, December 2nd is Donna Powers. She will be with us talking about how to talk with the traditional medical practitioners. I think we need to hear this news. The following week, December 9th, Nancy Gales, past president of the National Center for Homeopathy, an advocate for CAM, comprehensive, CAM. Tell me, I'm losing my mind. Alternative medicine, complementary and alternative medicine. She is telling the power of self-care, and she's an advocate in the United States for getting medical coverage and allowing homeopaths to practice. A common sense guide to your wellness solution is what she will be talking about, how homeopathy promotes wellness and save you money. And you know what? We're going to have a show in 1 hour. Marilyn Shannon's going to be on talking about money, finances, and our exchange, our barter, who we are. The most valuable thing on the planet is you as a resource, people. And that's where we have to put our value in seeing that light, that gold, that platinum, whatever shines in you, that is your good energy. And that's where we have to acknowledge and hear all about who you are and affirm who you are on the planet doing good. And then we'll just build and build and build more good communities. Thursday, no show on Blog Talk Radio. Why? Because it's Turkey Day, and and my daughter has made her own menorah in the shape of a turkey. So bring some light, love, fun, waves of awareness. And every time I open this show with my introduction, it reminds me, and I need a lot of repetition, Abbas and Deepak and Amnon, I need a lot of repetition to remind myself wherever your thoughts are, that's where you are. And so make your thoughts where you want to be. Even in the future, think of what you look like shining like gold in the future at your best, in all of your glory. And that's who you will become, who you think you are, what you bring in your mind. Amnon, do you have anything to say on this gratitude week?
Let's wrap it up. Thank you.
Wrap it up.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Much hugs.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
And love
Bye-bye,
you. Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Sundays, 9 a.m. till noon. Carrie's Psychic Cafe with Carrie Silkowski, Sundays, 8 till 9 p.m. Health In with Debbie Bruck, Mondays, 11 a.m. till noon. Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Mondays, 1 till 2 p.m. Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, the second and fourth Wednesday of each month from 7:30 till 8:30 p.m. Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, Wednesdays, 9 till 10 p.m. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by thatvidblasterguy.com, carolinaapparel.com, and deltaforce.net.